Greetings to everyone out in OG land with our Thursday live stream. I'm very sorry I missed the Saturday live stream. I have no reliable way of getting in touch with everybody. If something is going to happen, which it did, I had a calendar conflict on Saturday. Okay. There we have reconnected, I guess. The internet here is quite flaky tonight. I don't know what's going on. I asked my wife if she could watch something on the satellite on dish rather than something off the internet, just so I could get the whole link, but it's been up and down and up and down and up and down. I'll try and keep an eye on the little green icon over here, and if it goes bad, it should reestablish itself. We have 68 people listening. Thank you for the 11 likes already. Super Chat is open. I want to show this one name, Pedro Moraes, KE6MIL, sent an email to me or via the Ask Dave page, and it got corrupted in the process. I'm sorry. Pedro, if you could resend that, that'd be great. For some reason, I just am not getting email to speak of. I get like one or two a week at hamradioanswers@gmail.com, which should be a real easy way to get a question to me. But what most people do is they go to ke0og.net/ask-dave, and that's fine. Or you can go to dcastler.com, and up in the masthead is now, there's a place there to click to get to the Ask Dave page. Also, I split apart the Ask Dave video list from the actual Ask Dave form. So they're in different places right now. I need to put a link on the Ask Dave page to the list of Ask Dave videos. I will do that. If I don't do that, remind me, and I'll make sure that I will get that done. Here's somebody from Wales. Okay. Let's see. Good Game Ham Radio. Yeah, that's your website, I think. Let's see. At Gmail. Okay. Good Game Ham Radio at Gmail. That's fine. And Larry Fields says quite a few calls there. And here we are. Let's see. What is the difference between a ground plane and a counterpoise? Is a metal car body technically a counterpoise? No, it's actually the ground plane for the antenna. I'm assuming you're putting your magnet mount in the middle of the roof. That would act as the ground plane. A counterpoise is where you don't have a ground or something like that. It's a length of wire, and it can be anything there. It just gives the antenna something to work against. It acts as a reactive element, both as an inductor and a capacitor, and gives a place to store energy and then give it back. It's just very simple to use. Overhead mic is much, much louder than my mic. Yes, I understand that. And someday, let me turn this audio up here. Let's see. Hopefully that's better. Maybe? Is it? Turn that thing all the way up on this microphone. I apologize for that. Okay. Overhead microphone is much, much louder. Okay. Struggling to hear you on the main mic. I can see if I can add audio input capture, and we'll use 3. Okay, and we're going to use the not Microsoft, that one right there. Okay, now that's way too loud. Let me come back on that. Let me cancel that one and try that one, and tell me if that's any better on the audio. I'm now using the microphone that is on the webcam itself. Okay, Todd, thank you very much for being our first super chat of the evening. Okay, let's see, better audio. Okay, my email was a question about a friendly software to work with SDR play. SDR Uno, yeah, it can do everything, and therefore you have to be able to set every parameter. When you use it inside the ham bands, it's easy, but if you want to go listen like to the aviation channels or something like that, it can be a bit of a lion to tame, I'll tell you. Okay, better. Okay, great, much better. Gotta love doing it. Why? Yeah, always little quirks. If this is overdriving, let me know. I can cut the gain a little bit. So Saturday, I actually went to, this was our sort of a opening for Colorado after the pandemic. The number of hospitalizations in Colorado has been going down steadily, and there are currently none at Montrose Memorial Hospital. And so our Experimental Aircraft Association, or EAA chapter up in Delta, had a picnic. And so my wife and I went up to the picnic up there, and it's unfortunate the timing. I had double scheduled myself and hadn't noticed until the night before, which is typical of me. So I apologize. I've got the live stream now written down on my calendar so that I don't have to remember, oh yeah, everybody's Saturday. I do that. Let's see, okay. Tiny bit overdriven. Well, I can just back it off a little ways. There, okay. Yeah, you're hearing the clock louder now because the microphone is actually much closer. Clipping a little bit on peaks. The ARRL has the new extra study guide available. Purchased a copy and awaiting arrival. Yeah, I'm awaiting mine too. It's overdriving. Okay, let me just pull it down just a little bit more. Okay. Do you think there will be much difference in the new version of the extra exam? There is a difference. I don't know what it is. I am told that it is a little bit more than it was last time. So I'm going to have to call the ARRL. Peter B., thank you very much for your super chat. I appreciate that enormously. Okay, we have 87 concurrent viewers. The number goes up and down. I hope that most of you stay for the duration. The first question, predictably, David Kerr KA4GSR says, do you plan to update your videos for the 12th edition of the ARRL license guide? Yes. If so, will you offer the thumb drive again? Yes. So currently I'm still offering the thumb drive for the one before, but I think I need to take that off because by the time that would get to people, it would be very close to the July 1st deadline. I'm going to have to call the ARRL and beg them to send me mine early. They say they're running like 3 weeks behind in their shipping, and that would put it well into July. So we'll do what we can do here. Ran out of hardware putting my radial bed for 0.5 43-foot vertical. I've erected. I have 40 radials in the ground ranging from 30 feet long. Plan to put in a dozen more. That should be a nice radial field. Content is generally the same for the new pool. Some different question. Principles are still close. Okay. IT's lower volume but still clipping. Well, you know, it could very well be a problem in the audio chain. I think there's like 3 places you can set the level in Windows, and it's a little hard to get. Oh golly, that isn't going to help any. The old sound thing in the Windows control panel worked best. Okay, ARRL is on limited shipping schedule right now. Yeah, that's unfortunate. This one's from Allan Reesse AC7HK. He was looking at my FT8 video. This is curious. He says he learned to type in high school and got a bit faster than me. I got up to about 70 words a minute. But I switched to Dvorak keyboard, and I'm a little slower now. My understanding was the Dvorak keyboard was supposed to make you faster. I have a friend, Randy Kessingham, who is an apostle for the Dvorak keyboard, even wrote a book on it. And Microsoft consulted with him about there's actually a place in Windows where you can set either a regular QWERTY keyboard or a Dvorak keyboard. And he consulted with them on doing that. Okay, what his question is about is this. He's been having trouble talking to some of his friends who are on ships at sea because of the noise on single sideband. And he asks, is there a better way? Yes, there is. There are at least a couple different digital voice techniques for HF. There are some commercial units which are quite expensive. There is, I think, also freeware software or at least shareware software out there that you can use to use your computer microphone, which will then put the right tones out to the computer for the digital voice. It will give you, if you get your signal through well, it will give you excellent fidelity. But you'll have to look into that. Just Google HF digital voice and see what you can come up with. It is not common on the air. Not yet, even though it's been around for a while. Let's see. Gordon West is a new book. Good for him. He does very nice books. Go ahead and hit the like button. Thank you. Let's see. So this next one is from Brad Tombaugh, who's a frequent contributor. He says that there are, he watched the video I did. I did do a two-part video this week on noise, which has gotten pretty good reviews. So check it out. It's like Wired likes to call them long reads. This is a long play. They're a half hour each segment. I was asked to give a presentation at the Rochester Amateur Radio Association, as Rochester, New York, give a presentation over a web conference, and they said they wanted a 60 to 90-minute talk, so I put a whole bunch of charts together. It took me all day one day, I mean into the night. But I tried to create as complete a survey as I could of the kinds of noise that affect amateur radio and what you can do about it. And that's in the last two videos that I did, videos earlier this week. I put them up Monday and on Tuesday. This one is kind of in reference to radio frequency interference, a little bit different. There are the Eaton, E-A-T-O-N brand, and they're called AFCI. They're fault circuit interrupters. They're like ground fault outlets, except they're actually in the breaker themselves. And these Eaton ones were having trouble. This guy was getting on the air, and he would trip every breaker within 500 feet of his station, or trip a lot of them. And they finally tracked down what was going on. They have contacted Eaton, the manufacturer, who has agreed to pay electricians to replace all of those faulty ground fault isolation. These are actually called arc fault circuit interrupters. So if you've got a similar problem and they're from Eaton, there is a history here of replacing those with ones that are not susceptible to RF. Okay, let's see. Oh, thank you very much, GPN. Appreciate that. Yeah, my next flying lesson is tomorrow morning. I had one on Tuesday. What I did that is really helping, because I'm having trouble getting my muscle memory to work here, and it's as much sight memory as anything. I got the equipment for a flight simulator this new computer that I have really screams. So I've got the yoke, throttle quadrant, and pedals. And I've tried 2 different flight simulators. There's one that's actually by an outfit in Lockheed called Prepare 3D. And then there's another one that's a lot more popular called X-Plane 11. And I've tried both. I got both. Brad Rich, who's helping me with this, likes Prepare 3D better, but I think most of the world likes X-Plane better. And of course, Microsoft's coming out with a new one in the fall. But I'm finding that the flight simulator is helping me get some procedures in my head, so I don't have to spend $155 an hour to rent an airplane and $60 an hour to rent a flight instructor. So that's actually working very well. I spent probably 3 hours today mentally in the air in the area here, and was able to practice lots of things. I mean, you can practice all kinds of things, and if it crashes, okay, it crashes, you click reset and you go. Unlike real life, they don't simulate the let's see, regarding field day, yes, in the past our club has used N3FJP software with great results. So are we. Going to be operating field day for my backyard this summer. Is there a cost to purchase this software? Yes, there is. It's not huge. If you go to N3FJP, you can, he has software for about every contest, plus he has an all contest log. For I think $60 you can purchase all of his software, and it's good in perpetuity. So every time he comes out with an update, you just download the update. Our club uses N3FJP, and I use it myself. And they have it's been modified for the new field day rules this year, where you can put down the name of a club in there so that they can sort of informally aggregate the points. Okay, just watching the unwrapping video for the Icon 705. It's in Japanese, yes. That seems pretty high. I'm going to guess that they're going to sell it in the $500 to $700 range. I don't know. I should ask. They can't make it more expensive than the 7300, that's for sure. Let's see. Yes, you can use it on a trial basis, but you won't get all the files that you need. I blew out a GFI from Walmart. Yes. They make some out there. If the field day contest version of N3FJP software is purchased, can it then be used for general station logging after field day? No, that's all contact log. By the way, if you buy a few of his pieces, he'll count that as credit toward the price for all of them. Yeah, the amateur contact log option for general logging. It's very nice software. I use it. I haven't yet said that it's the reference station logging software, but I just may do that. Yes, it does cost money. That's how he makes his living. With all that rain in Dominica now, Ishmael, what makes the ground conductive is not rainwater, but salt water. The rainwater does not help near as much as the salt water. Now, if the rainwater is contaminated, it actually will be a better conductor of electricity. But getting lightning arresters, watch Ask Dave number 8. It will show you where to put those lightning arresters. Bought it for myself and my daughter. Yes, very nice stuff. Code Masseur, thanks. Certainly, sir. Okay. I'll be making an investment in the full package, yes. Hi, Dave from Philly, from Don DeGidio. And Christopher, thank you for the, it looks like the, I'm sorry, the internet is flaky tonight. Looks like the IC705 will be around $1,200. Good grief. You can buy a 7300 for less. And the 705 is only half the radio. That is crazy. I'll have to call, oh, what's his name? The guy in charge of marketing for ICOM. Find out what they're thinking. What they're trying to compete with at the 705 is the KX3. Elecraft KX3. Which is an expensive radio that does about that. Tom, thank you very much. Tom, thank you. Let's see. At least as much as the 7. That seems very strange. But they're competing with the KX3. The ICOM 7300 does not compete with the Elecraft K3 or K4. K4 now is the new one. Ray Novak, yes, thank you. I'll have to give him a call and maybe interview him about that. That price is competitive with the KX3, but it's certainly not. I mean, their own radio, the 7300's, much nicer radio. Although it's a little hard to put a 7300 in the backpack, I'll admit that. Okay, this is from Simon. Golf 1 OXD, Oscar X-Ray Delta. Enjoying the videos and using them. Okay, he's having trouble with CW and would like some advice. I think what he's asking for here is where to put your CW signal so that other people hear it. Like if someone else is calling CQ, where do you put your signal so that people can hear it? The answer is that you match the tone of your sending station to the tone that you hear in the radio. And a lot of the manufacturers have features built into their radios that will help you. Doing that's called zero beating. Now, zero beating does not mean bringing their frequency down to zero. It means matching the tone that you put out. And a lot of radios have features on there for doing that. One of my early Ask Dave videos was about how to zero beat. So if you'll go back in the list at, you know, I fixed it so it would be a one-word edition. It's dcasler.com. Dash previous, yeah, here, let's see, it's screen. Here, okay. So that's the answer to the question there. Let's see, show. I don't know why it more expensive. That is crazy. MFJ carries a resistor that will replace the one in the cantenna, says Don. Great. I'll have to look that up. You may have to give them a call to find that part. They haven't got their new website quite to the point where it has all the parts. Micro BITX for 160 and get the same amount of watts the 705 does. It's 5 watts. Yeah. I think the 705 is 10, isn't it? Does the micro BITX version with case fit well enough in a backpack? It's not very big. I'll show it to you. Not very light either. This is the micro BITX. This is $200, including the case. Comes from India. It is a single sideband and CW radio, and I assume that means you can use it on the digital modes too. And it's quite an interesting little radio. It's version 6 of the radio, and you can get them at hfsigs.com. Okay, let's see. It's the micro BITX. It'll fit well enough, yeah. Key in on mine. You can get these little keys from MFJ. Stay with Ray Novak would be great. Yep. Sound, no audio. Do I have audio? I think I do. Ordered Yaesu. It's on back order. Oh boy. I lost sound. This thing shows me transmitting sound. If you've lost sound, say so. If I mix salt water and make saltwater solution, then pour it on my 3 antennas will be conductive for a little while. Ishmael, for a little while. I would, I don't recommend doing that. Normally you can get a good ground without that. Yaesu had some issues with manufacturing due to COVID-19. Dave, is yours a vanity call sign, or did I get it randomly? I actually got it randomly. When my first call when I was a novice was WN7AIU, and 7 because I got it in Utah. Although no audio when I went searching because I wasn't talking. Let's see, just 2 meters. Can you hit? Lost sound when you were on the computer. Oh! Oh! Screen. That's because I turned off the audio. Ah! When I went to the screen, I lost it. Sorry, I need to fix that. 705 is 10 watts on an external 13.8 volt power supply. 5 watts on the internal rechargeable battery. You can also look at the Zygu radio that MFJ sells. It's a lot less expensive. Sound went away, you lost sound. David, you did not. Okay, great. All right, let's take the next question. We're up to 116 viewers. And thank you again for the super chats. Got my micro BITX version 6 today, no instructions. Go to hfsigs.com and you will find the instructions there. You may have to poke around a little bit to find it. It's not a very complex website, but they're there. New to FT8, is there a good way to remember who I have worked before? Yeah. The software, WSJTX software, has a logging facility inside of it, and it will tell you if you have worked somebody before. So read through Jeremy, read through the instructions that come with that. Okay, so that was Simon. The Zygu G90 is what he was talking about. It's actually less expensive than the 5105. Oh, by the way, Jeremy, the all contact log from N5LHW I is designed to be used concurrently with you being on the radio. And if you type in a call sign in there, it will give you the complete history if you've ever talked with them before. And it can also go on QRZ and pull back down the information about who it is that you're talking to. Just one pieces, $90 for version 3. Okay. A simple question. This is from Kyle, Watson KJ7CXQ. Simple question, does a balun affect a vector network analyzer? Well, a vector network analyzer is designed to operate essentially the same way an antenna analyzer does. An antenna analyzer is a vector network analyzer. And if there is a balun in your line, remember that the antenna analyzer measures from where the coax starts, and the coax, any baluns, and your antenna together is a system. It does not test just the antenna. It tests the whole system, coax, any baluns, and the antenna. So you'll find that if a balun is helping you with your SWR, you'll see it when you measure it with that. By the way, Tom was very kind to give me some one-on-one instruction with the little nano VNA. I will do a video about it. I won't make it the default piece of the default antenna analyzer because it's just too complicated. It's just too complicated. If you want to go through all of the stuff and you're really good at RF, you know, like have a degree or something, then yeah, fine, sure, but it's really too complicated for ordinary use. We did get it down to the point where it was just measuring SWR, but it was still kind of complicated. Zygu G90 about 450, that competes directly with that new ICOM 705, except I don't think the G90 has 2 meters on it. Let's see. Hello, everyone from San Antonio, Texas. Download Grid Tracker and use it with WSJTX to track QSO grid squares. You know, WSJTX works with another piece of software and will work directly with the N3FJP contact log. So as you log things in WSJTX, they show up in all contact log at the same time. So there, it will tell you if it's a new state or something like that. So, and the piece of software that connects the two is called JT Alert. JT Alert. I think it's free. And you're certainly welcome, Keith. Good grief, you never cease to amaze me. I am, my line of engineering work is what's called systems engineering. A system engineer has to know a little bit about everything, but then not much about anything. So I know enough to know that I may need to go ask somebody. Like, you know, I have to know the basics. I did this for a defense contractor. You had to know enough that, okay, it's time to go talk to the human factors people, or you need to talk to the mechanical engineer, or you got to go talk to this guy over here, and so on. The system engineer was the one concerned with the actual overall engineering of the system, and I had a blast doing that. I really did. They're trying to use rain gutter antenna, attach coax braid to the ground rod. Would some radials attached to the ground rod help for radiating? Maybe. Maybe. The rain gutter, if you can tune it, you can use it. Just make sure that you aren't feeding electricity where you don't want to feed it. Attach coax braid to a ground rod. Yeah, that will help. Josh at Ham Radio Crash Course did a great video on WSJTX and Grid Tracker recently. Okay. Tag Loomis, Creator Grid Tracker. It's so cheap. Okay, instead of, yeah, that's true. The Nano VNA is cheap. It is cheap. But if somebody were to offer a service that they would send you the Nano VNA already programmed to act as an antenna analyzer and also sell you the necessary adapters so that you could use it as an antenna analyzer and have it programmed you could just switch between bands, that'd be great. I'd do that. I'd make that the reference station antenna analyzer, but until that happens, I don't think so. Instead of scribbles and random notebooks scattered across the room. Yeah, I do have, and I mentioned this in a video. This is my logbook. It's just a 3-ring, or not a 3-ring, a little spiral bound thing. And I have a rubber stamp that I put, and is this right here. Before I have a QSO, I just stamp this rubber stamp on here, and it gives me all the forms to fill in for a log entry. And so this is my official paper log. Now I've got little date stamps over here of the date that was transferred to N3FJP. There's a lot of stuff I have that is only in N3FJP, and I'm getting a little behind about putting those in there too. Let's see, you don't have space for radials. Oh, yeah, you can just put in a ground rod, Ishmael, and see what you can do with that. Hey, yes, human factors play a very important role in engineering. And Jamie, you're welcome. Sure, all the joints in the gutter, yeah, I have good connection. When I log on, WSFT8 or others that respond, the program that asks, do I wish to log the station worked? And if I do, then transfer it. Yes. And the log format that WSJTX uses can be ingested directly by most any logging program. The problem you run into is you want to make sure you don't end up with a bunch of duplicates in there, which are a problem. One of the problems with N3FJP is it will eliminate duplicates, but it does them all automatically. It doesn't present them to you, say, this looks like a duplicate, is it? It just, poof, takes care of them, and you don't know what you lose. So I never use that feature. Okay, from Jeff. Hello, Jeff. This one is from Dennis Brown, N5LHW. I'm going to download to my radio using CHIRP. He's having problems with CHIRP. I have a video on CHIRP. Let's go see what it is. And I apologize. Let's see if I can get the audio set up for this. And we're going to go to screen. I'm going to turn on the audio. Okay. I'm going to go back up here where I had the search, and I'm just going to put CHIRP. And let's see, there's value 190 shows some use of it. How to do a Baofeng with it. Setting up a rig with CHIRP. Here is Ask Dave episode 38, using CHIRP to program your handheld ham radios. Okay, so there's a video on it. And so, let's see, let's go back to normal view. And now I got to turn off that extra microphone. Okay. So that's CHIRP. Go to chirp.danplanet.org. CHIRP is free. CHIRP's list of radios that it supports seems to grow every day. So it's a good thing to get to use. Well, he says he watched my video. That's why he's contacting him. It's actually written from his wife, Loretta Brown, for Dennis Brown. There's nothing in the drop-down box at port. Port, vendor, and model. The port is the COM port. And you have to have the programming cable. And I think I talk about that. You have to get the programming cable, get the computer to recognize it, and then you do this. Let's see. And I'll turn on that right there. Go down here to the corner. I'm way down in the lower left-hand corner. look up at Device Manager. Okay, in Device Manager, you look up ports, and you'll find a COM port. Okay, and this will tell you the name of the cable that you just attached. It'll be new. Figure out what number that is, and that is the port number. Okay, that is the port number. So back to normal view here. Okay, let's do wish though in a bad part. And okay, what should I do? I have a vertical HF antenna, don't have space for radials. Put out what you can. I mean, even Ishmael, yeah, it could still very well work. A lot of verticals don't need radials. Just put out a little bit, even if they're only 5 feet long. No possibilities to install cables, towers, or 2 visible antennas. What would you decide for using 40 to 10 meters? MFJ has a number of antennas that, like balcony antennas. Also, several different companies sell magnetic loop antennas. They're better if you can get them outside, but they can still work inside too. A lot of guys first starting with CHIRP get hung up on the driver issue. Yes, the counterfeit chip, which is a very good point. There's a company whose name escapes me right at the moment, and a lot of people were counterfeiting its chip. So that company got with Microsoft and came up with a new driver for that chip that will not recognize any of the counterfeit chips. And that is a problem because even today, a lot of the VHF radios coming from China have got that cable in them that's got the prolific chip. He went with backdated drivers. There's also, if you go to powerworks.com, there is something called the red cable that is a prolific driver in there, but it is not a counterfeit one. And that works for a lot of the radios that use the Kenwood style connection on that. Boy, that could be a video on its own. Is the N3FPJ log free? No, you need to pay, but not very much. Love your videos, Moody Lane. Thank you. Tech2 General, very good. You can try it free, then it will require purchase. Yes, it is worth the money. Does CHIRP support DMR yet? No, not to my knowledge. They should. And I've told this to RT Systems. Met the principal behind it at a Hamfest. I says, you are going to have to support the digital radios. You simply are going to have to, because they are the future. And I don't need to do that. I've noticed recently that they're now supporting, for some radios, D-Star, I think. Okay, yeah, it was prolific. Which antenna analyzer is the best technically? They're all good. Any ham radio equipment, you've got to remember, there is no ham radio test equipment like antenna analyzers and so on that is the equivalent of laboratory grade equipment. Because hams are hams. We do with stuff that's good enough rather than having to be perfect. I really like my Rig Expert tuner. That is a very nice, analyzer. That's a very nice analyzer. I have my MFJ 259B, which in a recent situation gave me information that was not readily available on the Rig Expert. There are a number of them out there. They'll do about the same thing. Now, the Nano VNA is really cheap, but as I said, unless you're a PhD, it's a little hard to use. Okay. Let's see. 3.5 meters of radials will work great for most different meters on HF. Yes. Have I received my antenna NFED? No, I have not. I was told it would be delayed because of COVID-19. It is on order, and I told you the story about how they're using my video on grounding as their discussion of grounding. But they're doing it by embedding it, which is fine, because then when somebody watches it, I get the credit for it. Okay, so for N5LHW, Loretta, my suggestion is going to be to find your local amateur radio club. You can go to the American Radio Relay League website, ARRL.org, ARRL.org, and there's a Find a Club feature, a Find a Club near you. And call around and go visit some of the clubs, and somebody will be able to help you with that. Finding the right COM port can be frustrating, but it is not difficult. Okay. This is from Dirk Haupt, and he doesn't give a call sign. I want to get into this. Sounds fun and good for preparedness. What do I need to get started? Just the technician license, also the general and extra. What do I need to use to study for the technician 35 question test? I'm glad you asked. You can go to KE0OG.net/training. KE0OG.net/training will tell you everything you need to know. There's a link there for purchasing the book. If you buy it from Amazon, they're pretty slow right now, and now the league is slow. So, but I have videos there that go along with every section in the textbook. Okay, watch those videos, read that textbook, and there's even a link there of where to find where there's a testing session, and we'll get you hooked up in short order. Also, a nearby club would very likely be very happy to help you. This is from Chris Warters K7II. Stumbled across your YouTube page, episode 13. Looking forward to promoting your business for new hams that I am training. Well, very good. Chris, thank you. I'm glad you found the channel. I hope you subscribe. Interestingly enough, I don't have... there are more... if you look at the people who watch my videos, there are more who are not subscribed than are subscribed. I would really appreciate it if you're not subscribed, that you subscribed. YouTube seems to use the number of subscribers as the fundamental practical metric of how much to promote a YouTube channel and suggest it and so on. I have just shy of 70,000 subscribers right now, and YouTube gives its first award for subscribership at 100,000. There are, I think, 2 hams now with more than 100,000 subscribers. Josh Hoshnazi is one of them, and I don't remember right off the top of my head who the other one is. I think I'm number 3. So I try harder. Is that one? No, that's number 2. Okay. What have you heard about the 100 watts in a wire event this weekend? Is it the first year? I don't know. I have spoken with the guy in charge of that. It's actually a podcast instead of a YouTube channel. Let's see. Oh, wonder how many OGers have the Mac Intel laptops. Many rumors that... yeah, there's talk about all kinds of things that Apple might do. Yeah, I don't have my antenna yet. 8 radials, yeah, many as you can. How many? If you, whoops, Nano VNA, the Smoking Ape did an amazing video release just today on that thing. Good. It's a neat little tool. Just use vertical without radials. It depends on the vertical, Ishmael. Some verticals actually need at least some radials. You're getting a Nano VNA. Well, sure, go get one to experiment with. The $9 as stated is just logging. And the $50 gets all of his programs. I don't know that there is a CD, to tell you the truth. Let's see, this menu system on nano. Oh, geez, menu system is weird. I think it was put together by some people who do not speak English as a first language, and the English words they picked for that menu, if you think about them in a stretch sense, they're the correct word, but they're not the word we would normally use for that. Okay, Nano PC, yeah, I should try that. Subscriber, Todd, thank you. By the way, people who are subscribers are officially Augies. And Kurt, go ahead and subscribe again. And thank you very much, Code Monsieur. When you will be releasing the updated extra course videos? Well, first of all, I got to get the book. And then I will update them one by one until I'm through all of them. I think there's like 40 of them. Okay. This is from Randall Schwanke, KC0NVI. Has had his ticket for a while. Let's see. Unable to reach any of the 2-meter videos. Need to get a J-pole outside. And together. Oh, and he's trying to put together a hotspot by starting with the Raspberry Zero W board and so on. I wouldn't attempt that. I want something prepackaged. Listening on what talk group, but nothing is ever heard on my end. There are literally hundreds, I think thousands of talk groups, and only a few of them are popular. Okay? So if you want a talk group that is popular, look at the talk groups that your local repeater or a nearby repeater includes as standard talk groups on their repeater. And that will give you some idea what to listen to. I would talk to somebody who's really into DMR and they could tell you more about that. There's a nationwide U.S. talk group that's pretty popular. I know there's one for Colorado, but there are lots of them out there. You will find the same thing that a lot of people find when they get on 2 meters, is most of the time repeaters are silent. If you want to get a little more activity on those repeaters, you will need to create it and get others of your friends to create it too. Kalamazoo, Michigan, yes. The Hustler, okay, worked fine without the radials, good. Oh, he does have a CD, it's $20 more. Thank you, Don, for looking that up. It's not bad putting a hotspot together. I did a video on building one with Pi Zero. Thank you, Mr. Good Game. I shall have to check out your video on that. Lansing native, 6BTV, but it does much better if you can get some wires in the ground. Should have some ground radials. Tupelo, Mississippi. I did my Air Force Tech training in Mississippi. Did you ever get to use your buddy pole out with your RV? How did it work for me? It seems to work fine, but I've had very little opportunity to use it in the RV. I mean, we went to Quartz Fest this year, but I was too busy there to try and get on the radio. And then we haven't been out with it since. So, okay. Let's see. Yeah. So Randall, get in touch with the local club. DMR is pretty popular in Colorado, and you'll find people who are really enthusiastic about it and can tell you all about what you need to do. And some groups, if you have one of the popular radios, it will already have a code plug ready that you can just drop in to your radio. Let's see. I'm new to Michigan this year, or am I this year? Love it. Okay, this is from Bill Ashby. He said, I'm pretty sure that you figured out how to add a name to the speech buttons on the IC7300. Actually, I hadn't. Didn't even know it was available. Under voice transmit record, you have T1, T2, T3 through TH. Touch and hold the button for about 2 seconds, and you'll get under quick menu and edit name, and under that clear. So you can actually put a name in like CQ or contest or QTH or something like that in there. Thank you, Bill, for that suggestion. This is from Jerry Bustin KR7KZ. I would like to send you a mobile 3/16 stainless steel inductive tune J-pole. Oh, okay. I sent him my address. My QTH is correct on QRZ, but that's a post office box. I send him my actual shipping address. I'm not exactly sure what a stainless steel inductive tune J-pole is, but I look forward to seeing it. Let's see. Christian says, I want to thank you for your videos and comments. Is my place begging, finding something I need to understand? Christian, always happy to help. You can send an email. Go in your web browser to ke0og.net/ask-dave. And you can put your question in there, and it'll be answered on this show. Okay? This is from NW. He doesn't want his... he wanted me to remove his last name from a post because he had an unpleasant experience with somebody looking up his home address, email, and phone number through publicly accessible records. Unfortunately, that is a problem for everybody. You know the old saying, you can run but you can't hide. And with the internet, it's really a problem. Everything from phone books to arrest records to whatever is all publicly available information. And your ham radio call, of course, is likewise. I use a post office box simply because I have one. And you can do that too if you don't want your address in the FCC records. Get a post office box. Then, of course, you got to pay for one. They're not free. They're about $50 a year, something like that. So now I wanted me to remove that, and I did. I did remove his name and call sign from the... He made a comment several years ago. This is hello from Ishmael, figuring out his grounding system. Ishmael sent me another email wanting to know if he could use an SO239 chassis connector to make a 60-meter ground plane or 40-meter. I don't think you would want to use that. The antennas that I've seen with the SO239 are usually like 2 meters or 440 because the little SO239 is only about that big. It's got holes in 4 corners, so you can attach 19-inch lengths of welding rod or something like that to it to create the antenna that you want. Ishmael also asked how I'm doing. Doing fine, actually. He's going to put a Hustler 6 BTV vertical in the ground, and it rains. Do you still need radials? Yeah, put some radials out if you can. There. This is Ishmael again. He wants to express his thanks to a benefactor who is helping him set up his ham station properly. I know this benefactor and know that he would be a bit embarrassed for me to mention his name on the air, but he's been a benefactor to me too. So I greatly appreciate what he has done for me. He's done quite a bit for me, and he's become a good friend. Mike Carrington didn't list his call sign. Says, on your episode page under Show More, you have a link saying, list of the Ask Dave videos, see such and such a link. And I apologize, I moved that page. So I'm going to fold this one up here so that I know I need to do something about that. And I'll put a link there to have something to follow. This is from Mike Carrington, KKG0P. There's a misplaced something in there. There are no like 3-letter prefixes. Dave, I've got an LDG-AT100 out of my ICOM 7300. How should I use the auto tuner on the 7300 in conjunction with the LDG? Follow the instructions in the LDG manual and turn off the tuner in your 7300. Okay, you don't want to have two tuners fighting with each other. Okay, let's see, move back tomorrow, Great Lakes State. Okay, and well, Ishmael, you can try it without the radial, see how it works. Will your Montrose Amateur Radio Club still be having a field day this year? In fact, yes. Colorado is one of the states where the COVID-19 virus is showing a steady downward trend. Our local Montrose Hospital has 0 COVID-19 patients right now. So we're going to go ahead and have a regular field day this year. Let's see. I'm going to take that one out of there. We don't need that. You don't want it out there, don't put it on the net. Well, unfortunately, it's on the net. Got to run for an Elmer net. Good luck. Oh, my goodness, we're out of time. Experience with portable HF antennas, by the way. Got a mailing envelope for cables today. Good. Okay, watch the POTA video. Your daughter ran circles around you. POTA is Parks on the Air. That's the old, same thing, parks, different kinds of national parks and things like that. Okay. All right. Very good. Well, thank you all so very much for watching. Thank you for the Super Chat. Super Chat still is open for a minute. Please also go to dcasler.com/support. That's DCASLER, just one S, no T, dcasler.com/support for different ways that you can support the channel. And please do subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And thank you so very much for your support. I will also have a live stream this Saturday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. That's Mountain Daylight Time. It's also 1900 UTC. We usually have a few more viewers on the Saturday live streams. There was not one last week because of a mix-up. I have nobody to blame but myself. So thank you all very much, and we will see. We will say 73 to all. To all, a good night. Stay safe. Help others stay safe. And 73.